Hi, I'm Abby from Rtings.com. We've tested all kinds of TVs in the past 10 years, over 400 to be exact. In that time, we've seen some really good ones and some not so good ones. New TVs are coming out each year, and there are always different models available, so it's hard to decide what the best option for your needs and budget is. Well, we're here to help you with our current picks for the best TVs. To start, there's no perfect TV for everyone. Some offer premium picture quality, but not everyone has the money to spend on a high-end model. Because of that, it's important to think about how much you're willing to spend. Before we get into it, we just want to remind you about the written reviews on our website. If you want to learn more about any of the TVs mentioned in this video, just head to Rtings.com for in-depth results. You can even see some of the video reviews we've done for these TVs on this channel. And don't forget to subscribe. One last note before we unveil our first selection, our picks consider a few things, like the price, availability, and feedback from our users. These TVs are the best for most people, but may not necessarily be the best displays overall. So, without further ado, let's get into it. The best TV for most people is the Samsung S90C. It's a premium model that's available in a wide range of sizes from 55 to 83 inches. What makes it so great is that it uses a QD-Oled panel, so it displays deep blacks in dark rooms while also getting bright enough to make highlights pop. So your content looks vivid and realistic. It also includes some options to connect other devices like HDMI 2.1 bandwidth for your gaming consoles and an eARC port that supports Dolby audio formats, which is great for connecting a soundbar. That said, even though it's such a high-end TV, it isn't perfect. And it's probably not the best option if you want premium picture quality for your home theater setup. This is because it doesn't support pass-through for DTS audio formats, which many Blu-rays use. While it supports the Samsung-specific HDR10+ Advanced HDR format, it doesn't support Dolby Vision. Now, we know there are a lot of people out there who aren't interested in an OLED model, so if that sounds like you, we recommend the Sony X93L. The X93L has 3 different size options, 65, 75, and 85 inches, so they are on the bigger end. Packed inside these units are Sony's powerful processing, which makes stream content look incredible. Plus, with its mini LED backlighting, you'll get a high peak brightness and great contrast, making this TV a versatile choice for a bright living room or a dark theater cave. Of course, it won't be as good as our next pick, but really nothing is. The best TV for your home theater setup and the most expensive TV on this list is the Sony A95L. It's a QD-Oled like the Samsung, delivering the same deep blacks and bright highlights, but the main advantage is that it supports audio pass-through from any signal. It also supports Dolby Vision. On top of that, it has better processing than the Samsung, which is useful if you want to watch older content like DVDs. It's just worth noting that it has a slightly higher input lag and it doesn't have as many HDMI 2.1 ports as the Samsung, so if you're planning to use this TV for gaming as well as the main display in your home theater, it's worth keeping that in mind. But of course, the input lag isn't high enough to detract from the gaming experience at all. But for the price, be picky. While it is the highest scoring TV we've ever tested, it is very expensive. While these high-end TVs are great, you might not be ready to spend so much on them. That's okay though, you can find great options that cost less. One of those is the LG C3, another OLED, but unlike the Samsung, it isn't a QD-Oled. This means it doesn't get as bright and the colors aren't as vivid, but you still get all the benefits of an OLED with deep and inky blacks. It has great processing, and while it isn't as good as the Sony for this, it's still good enough if you use lower resolution sources, like a cable box or even from streaming apps. It also displays accurate colors, and it has a wide viewing angle, making it great for watching content with the entire family. This TV is part of LG's 2023 OLED lineup that has other similar models like the LG B3, which happens to be our next pick. The LG B3 is a step down from the C3. For less money, you get lower peak brightness and an interesting design, but in terms of picture quality, you'll still be satisfied. Like all other OLEDs, you'll have great contrast, and though its peak brightness is definitely lower in comparison to the others, it's still bright enough to fight glare from light sources in the room. There's only some minor nitpicks with this TV, the biggest being the stand and mounting design. The HDMI 2.1 ports are along the back, so if you're looking to wall mount it, you may lose easy access to those ports. Plus, the stand doesn't adjust, so a soundbar in front of the TV will block the lower part of the screen. Otherwise, these quirks aside, you'll be more than happy with the B3, especially if you haven't upgraded in a while. If your budget falls under or around the $1,000 mark, you'll want to check out the Hisense U7K. Hisense dominates the budget market, and it's easy to see why. The U7K is a mini LED TV that delivers high peak brightness, excellent highlights, and fantastic contrast. HDR content looks great, and the TV supports Dolby Vision and HDR10+ formats. The processing is also good, so anything you watch from a streaming service won't be a pixelated mess. While that's great for media lovers, this TV is also great for gamers with low input lag and support for 4K signals at 144 Hz. The real downside with this TV is that it wasn't made for wide seating areas, so if you're looking for a model to pair with your big sectional, this might not be your beast. From the sides, the images really wash out, but from dead center, it looks great. If you're on a tighter budget, there are plenty of good options you can choose from too. The Hisense U6K is one of them. It's a step down from the U7K, but delivers good performance. There are a few trade-offs for getting this low-cost TV, like the fact that it has fewer gaming features and a lower refresh rate. But if you just want something to sit back and watch your favorite content, you'll be happy with it. It comes with Google TV built in, so you don't even need to get an external streaming device, and there are a ton of apps you can choose from. In terms of its picture quality, it competes with some of the best as it has high contrast. While there's more blooming than you would see on higher-end TVs, it's still good enough to use in dark rooms. It gets pretty bright too, but it suffers if you place it opposite a window with direct sunlight on it. It does struggle with processing, but that's what you have to live with when you get a budget TV. For the price though, you can't go wrong with it. If you've reached this point in the video and still find these options out of your price range, you probably need to look for a cheap TV. Once you get to these models, you aren't getting anything fancy regarding picture quality or even features, but they're good if you aren't nitpicky on the latest TV technology. This year, Roku released their own set of cost-friendly TVs, and their entry-level option is the Roku Select Series model. Yes, you heard that right, the company that makes the Roku smart platform now has its own TVs. It's available in many different sizes, from cheap 24 and 32-inch models with a 720p resolution to a massive 75-inch 4K model. So they have everything from a model for your kitchen to the centerpiece of your new sports cave. It performs well for a cheap TV with accurate colors and okay contrast and decent enough reflection handling, but as expected, it has limited processing and HDR performance. But I mean, are you really getting this for the best picture quality? The built-in Roku is very easy to use, and it's great for someone who's never used a smart TV before. Like if you're looking to buy your grandma a replacement for that 15-year-old plasma with game shows burnt in. However, Roku doesn't have as many apps available as some other smart platforms, so if you prefer something else like Google TV, you can also consider the Hisense A65K. It performs well for a cheap TV, but you need a Costco membership to buy it. Well, that's our current list for the best TVs. This isn't exhaustive, and there are a lot of great TVs we haven't mentioned. You can visit our website for other recommendations, like the best gaming TVs or the best HDR TVs. But what do you think about this list? Which one would you choose? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, I'm Abby from Rtings.com, where we help you find the best product for your needs. These are the current picks of the best? Above my head? TVs? Best TVs for over your head? Hmm.